From the time he went to Washington, D.C.
I don't want to bore you with any war history talk. This is not occasion for that sort of thing. I just want to tell you about the story how we got this training scheme going in America, which is quite an unusual thing to do because America at that time, I would ask you to remember, was neutral, and anybody who disobeyed that order, from the lowest bellhop to the president himself, would be in trouble. And so how was it done? I was close to Washington as Assistant Air Attache, and after about a month, I was told I was to take tea with the President, Mr. President, Mr. Roosevelt, in the White House. Well, not to say anything about this, Mills, if it's too far, keep it to yourself. You don't write home about it or mention it to anybody. So obviously, it was a serious occasion. So on Sunday, I was really taken to the White House out of sea. In the White House, I got to know the house. It's quite large. There are lots of offices there, lots of doors, and lots of servants. And they treat you with a great deal of respect, a certain amount of suspicion, and they your eyes up and down, and so on, so that you are expected. So eventually, I was taken to the drawing room. I think it was a Chinese drawing room, the door was open. I was duly presented, but I noticed we were walking on a white carpet, so I had to be very careful. I had clean shoes. I was presented and I was then seated, but I was seated in the centre of the room, in a chair, and then tea was served. I had offered the Indian tire or Ceylon tea, a cup of tea in that hand, and this hand I was offered sandwiches. I had just two, and then a great pile of watercress. It was a delicacy, but it was a bit tough to look at and try and eat. I was then seated in the chair, and I was then expected to drink the tea or eat a sandwich like that. Nothing wrong with hospitality like that. It was merely they were giving me a chair to sit in. But after a few minutes, then the President started asking questions. He asked me many questions about the war, about Norway. I did come back with the King of Norway in the same ship, so he was very interested in that. What was his feelings about the war and so on. And then he switched on to what the war was like in England. At that time, you know, it was pretty grim. We had a lot of casualties. We were down to half strength in some of the squadrons and so on. I told him all that. I was just answering his questions. Then he wilted with one or two of the sad examples I had quoted, because he asked the questions. Then Mrs. Roosevelt started questioning him. What was it like in England? And she floored me with one question. It was very difficult. She said, sorry, Mills, do tell me, how are your babies? And I wasn't married then. I hadn't thought about it anybody. I was instructed it by the Foreign Office, don't get involved in it. And I hadn't been indiscreet in England because I had no time. And I don't think anybody liked me anyway. So I was completely floored with that question. Sitting there in a square room, absolute silence. And I eventually did realise that she was asking about the country's children, the evacuation scheme. As you know, all the children were sent away to Wales and Cornwall and so on. But then I blew a gap. She said, really? You're separating children from the parents? I said, well, my mother's working Minister of Attache and I'm out in America. Yeah, Attache was sitting here, he just glared at me. Got my career ruined. But anyway, Mrs. Roosevelt was very kind and compassionate. She said, when you poor man, here are you wounded, separated from your mother, who's working in an armament factory, can we send her anything? They sent her lovely clothes and food passes and so on. I then realised that very frightening sort of personality was very, in fact, a very charming woman, very kind and very sympathetic. When the President started resuming, he started questioning me again. He asked me about training. What was the difference between peacetime and wartime training? I got an instrument mind. You know, cadets who used to forget these things, but you had to keep on instrument flying and navigation and general handling. You know, you would use an engine, or 4-engine aircraft, or 2 engines, or 3 engines, you've got to get that aircraft there. So he was deeply interested in that, and so on. And then the tea came to an end. So I got back to my hotel. This is all the questions I've been asked. So the 35 questions I've been asked, and in 2 hours we had tea. This is all the answers, and the whole performance was repeated the following week, back to the White House on Sunday. This time they did have a table for me, so I could put the sandwiches and walk the questions that was much easier. However, this is the serious part of it. General Arnold was there, and several state officers, the state office, the equivalent of the Foreign Office were there, and I was introduced to these officers by the President, and then I had invitation to visit the War Department, which is a great help to. When I got to the War Department, and over the course of months and so on, which I enjoyed, I was told you're out here to select schools. I suppose you know this, that I didn't know. Here's a list of schools, and so make your selection and tell us what you're doing and what schools you're choosing. Then I was instructed by the Air Attache to go out to select the schools. I won't go into the details of the schools I did visit, but Mesa was one of them. I arrived at Phoenix Airport, driven from Mesa. Mesa was some distance away from Phoenix, there's nothing, no buildings, down a side lane, onto the desert, and that was Mesa. That's number 4 FDS. I walked the length of it, took about 2 hours, across the desert, not the long way. Did all that, and I got back and saw Lynn Hayward, done the swoop. He said, we'll build you an airfield, a school, in 90 days. I said, well, you get this Cactus Street up, which is we're going to paint those things, and they're a bit spiky. So that was all agreed that within 90 days of signing the contract, the school would be built. I was a bit undecided whether they could get the instructors, sufficient instructors at all into that part of the world. And however, after careful thought, I started it into place, and that's how number 4 FBS came to be part of the scheme. There were 2 in Dallas, one I selected and the other one I didn't. But I thought it would probably be imposing on Dallas to town too many cadets at one time. Got back to Washington. I was then sent up to Quebec. I saw Moncton, inspected all that, saw the United States immigration and customs officials. The customs man asked me an odd question. He said, what do you expect to bring in? I said, bag of sweets, an orange and an apple. He said, oh my God, what's the matter? I said, well, they don't see any sweets, they're all rationed. And the apples and oranges go to hospital. He said, all right, they can come in, there will be no question of them being searched or anything like that. And so they paid the way for you to come down to into America. That was quite pleasant. And then I went out again and started seeing the schools were actually formed and they were being built all right. Mesa was a bit behind the things, and so I think that Bob Holloway, who's Connie Holloway here, who did a magnificent job lifting you off the ground, getting you going, he had to go to Thunderbird Field, and you had to be there for about 3 or 4 months. That's the one who left his part and yours, putting up with it. We have a great debt of gratitude to the United States Air Force authorities at Thunderbird Field, and also I'd like to take this opportunity, but not bore you, to pay tribute to the kindness which we received from the people of Mesa. But there's one thing I'd like to mention to the guests, I don't want to bother the ladies with it, that every time the course left, Bill Holloway used to go around to give the empties. We were very short of money that day, and we did money. And the sight on that railway station was really something to be seen. The weepies used to leave behind. Attractive, lovely girls, crying their hearts. I got up to what I do. Bill Holloway said, no, you're too old. And so I have nothing but happy memories of those days. I think that the people of America were so kind to us, and we owe a debt of gratitude to the late President Roosevelt, who decided that we should have this training. He also decided that we should have 3,000 training places in America, and the other one where the Norwegians have been researching into this history, have come into it, is that he decided, only by telling him about the shipping losses were affecting our getting spares for the aircraft we were buying, he directed that all convoys leaving eastern ports, that's from Philadelphia, Boston, and New York, were to have United States Navy convoy protection. And they were protected as far as Iceland and Greenland, then handed over to the Royal Norwegian Air Force and Navy, and to RAF and to the Royal Navy. I don't think that's realised that the President had decided those things. He decided on the British training scheme, that's what we're all here celebrating tonight. We also decided that we would have 3,000 places in American schools, and also that our convoys were to be protected. So it was a wonderful contribution given to us by the American government. Now, I didn't play any part in this at all. All I did was to answer questions. And bounce that teacup and that plate and everything. But I know that if I had upset that tea, none of you would have been up.